station. Heed the call, the escalation. This is your radio salvation. Go, 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 go.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the new Thoughts Count Anywhere show. Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time, high noon East Coast, 6 a.m. if you're out in Hawaii. God bless you. You're still asleep while we're here doing this. Thank you for tuning in to Thoughts Count Anywhere. The four Thoughtsmen, Jason, Matt, Scott, and myself, we are here, ready to rock and roll. Listen, I'm going to make this quick. Let's do the, Scott, wake up. It's time to wake up, sir.
Oh, I was doing my Joe Biden impression.
How's everybody? Oh, my God. Wow. 30 seconds.
Wow.
Where's that disclaimer we had on the earlier show? Thoughts and opinions.
No disclaimers needed.
I got my boys here.
Backup has arrived.
Oh, my goodness. Make sure you visit the Thoughts Count Anywhere website, thoughtscountanywhere.com. Of course, send us a live tweet using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere. We're in the chat room, 702-329-6947. And that's important to have that number because in a couple of minutes, we're going to introduce our special guest today, kicking off our new Saturday, who is
former WWE superstar Ricardo Rodriguez.
And also he's involved in many other promotions, Scott?
Well, many other promotions, AAA down in Mexico, definitely Lucha in general. And also he was a guest at my store here not a couple months back.
Yes.
And him with Jeff Cobb. So shout out to both of them. Thanks again for doing it. And it'd be great to have him on the show today.
Absolutely. We'll bring him on in a couple of minutes. Let's first cover our I Hear Voices topic. All right. Mystery woman during SmackDown promo videos is being rumored to be Carmella. Jason, your thoughts on Carmella?
It's not a thought, it's the truth.
Aha.
It is Carmella because it leaked that they showed her tattoo under her arm, and everybody was like, oh, there's a sign.
What is the intention of this, rebranding her in this capacity? What could they be doing differently with her in this?
Breaking her graves up? I don't know.
That'd be a first. That'd be a first.
Starting a new controversy? I don't know.
Well, they separated Onus and Mandy, so you never know. But I mean, what can they do differently with her at this point, Matt? What do you think?
They're giving her like a new, like, sexy glam look, like kind of gimmick maybe, but maybe step away from like the Staten Island princess.
Okay, that's interesting to get away from that.
Kind of try to get rid of the whole Enzo and Cass situation.
Oh, the Enzo Cass connection?
Yep.
Okay.
Give her a new coat of paint. She's a good wrestler, so maybe like.
Wow.
I mean, like character-wise. You know what I meant.
It must be that chair in the middle. It's whoever had that chair before
I didn't
was
say a
awesome.
new coat of plastic. I just meant a new coat of paint.
We knew what you meant.
Wow.
Maybe we'll get our guest's opinion on that one when he comes on here in a few minutes.
Good God have mercy. Wake up call, everybody. Wake up call.
I'm awake.
I'm here.
702-329-6946. See, I guess this is the difference when you're up at 9 in the morning after you're not working, right, and you have a fresh mind and you have great lines like that. I think that's going to go down as one of the greatest lines on this show ever, personally.
Sweet.
Thoughts and emails go to Matthew Mullen.
That's right.
Okay,
Okay,
Ron's going to do a lot of disclaimers.
next topic.
No bell, no bell. There we go.
Rumor has it Kofi was going to return on Raw, separating and breaking up the New Day, but Xavier then would manage both. But this was shot down. Is it time to break up the New Day?
Yes.
Hell
Okay,
no.
I got a yes there. I got a hell no here.
Hell no.
I never liked the New Day.
But they sell merch.
They absolutely sell
Right?
merch. I just,
And pancakes.
And
It's a new
cereal.
day. Yes, it is.
but I just, they're three good wrestlers.
Yeah.
And the stereotype, especially
Yep.
with the
Yep.
social issues going on right now, they're three great wrestlers.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it. I think it's a disservice to them. I mean, it was great gimmicks sold, but let them stand on their own. I mean, it's very similar to the whole, Ron Simmons and Bradshaw thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
APA.
yeah, I mean, I liked Ron Simmons, WCW first Black World Champion, and can kick some ass. Damn. But let's move on. I mean,
It would have. Oh, sorry. I
but
said it
Big
would have.
E would be a great challenge for somebody like a Lesnar if he came back or something like that. Yeah,
It would have bugged me if Xavier Woods would have been manager because that guy can go.
yeah, exactly.
Like
But
that
we're-
Hell in a
you're
Cell
holding
match
back.
between was it Big E and Xavier against the Usos in that Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
Yep.
Kofi stepped aside so we could do that, and everybody forgets how good of a wrestler Xavier Woods actually is.
Great, it's a great point.
Yeah,
It's time.
there's video to back it up.
That's right.
It's time for Xavier. It's actually, it really is time for Xavier to have a title run.
I think so. I think he's been the one of the three. It's a great point, Jason. I think he's been the one guy in the group that really hasn't gotten his shot, his push.
Big E,
No,
Xavier.
Xavier. I'm
Xavier.
sorry, he and I were laughing.
Smart ass.
No, we're laughing.
No,
about
I
something
thought
else.
I thought it was a great point. Xavier Woods, to your point,
Yeah.
great guy in the ring, but he just has not gotten that opportunity
All
as a push.
he's held is a tag team title.
Right.
Like he's never got a shot at Intercontinental or US, and we've seen what Big E can do with both belts because Big E has held the Intercontinental belt.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the
And-
NXT champion.
Yep, and then Kofi has been WWE, US, Intercontinental, and tag. Xavier's just whoosh.
I'd like to see Big E drop the whole hip gyrating thing and turn into a monster heel.
He
Like
kind of did
was-
last
like,
night.
like he was when he first
Yeah, because
debuted.
I could see him going
That's
up
Dolph Ziggler's.
Yeah,
or a face heel image
Yep.
going up against the what are they called?
the Hurt Business, the Hurt.
The Hurt Foundation or
The
whatever.
Hurt Business?
Hurt
Hurt
Business.
Business. I could see him and maybe Keith Lee
Yeah,
turning to a more of not full heel, but more of a
Gray area.
gray area.
What
Like,
do you think about Keith Lee and Big E, even them as a tag team one of the times? That'd be hell.
the size of those two boys?
Brick-
Exactly.
The brick houses.
Oh,
Like Big E says, that's a whole lot of meat.
That's very true. Wow.
crash and burn, baby.
Oh, man. All right. On that note, let's step aside for our quick first time out. When we come back, our guest will be with us on video connection. He is waiting with bated breath when Ricardo Rodriguez will be joining us on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Saturday Night Live auction, powered by Power Play Sports Collectibles, will be on Saturday, September 26th at 6:05 Eastern, 3:05 Pacific. This first-time event will be hosted by Chadman316 on Facebook. It will be shared on the Power Play Sports Collectibles pages, but to see and bid in real time, log in to Chadman316 on Facebook. Once again, Saturday, September 26th, 6:05 Eastern, 3:05 Pacific.
What's up, guys? This is Jeff Cobb. Be sure to listen to my favorite wrestling show, Thoughts Count Anywhere, Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. on Go Live Vegas.
Looking to advertise your small business at a low cost? Do you need your commercial designed or actually produced for you? Advertise on two of the hottest shows on the internet, Power Play Sports Collectibles and Thoughts Count Anywhere. Both shows with getting over 40,000 views per week for only one low cost. For more information, please email info@thoughtscountanywhere.com.
Hey, welcome back to Thoughts Count Anywhere show. Saturdays now, 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. following Power Play Sports Collectibles show, so make sure you adjust your calendars. You can hear us on the Go Live Vegas mobile app. If you need to go somewhere, take us with you on the go. Of course, we're on all the other platforms as usual, as well as Facebook. Without further ado, it's now time to bring in our very special guest. As we mentioned at the top of the show, this individual from WWE, Lucha Underground, signings with Scott. We all know him. We all love his name. So what we're going to do as we bring him in, and I'm going to stall here, I'm going to ask our guest if he were to introduce himself in a ring, how would Ricardo Rodriguez introduce Ricardo Rodriguez? Oh, okay. Let's bring him up on camera so people just can also say, all right. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys because I do ring announcing. So you guys have some fun with this. How would Scott introduce Ricardo Rodriguez?
I think
to
you
the
just
show?
did
You
it right
gotta
now.
feel it. You gotta bring it from the diaphragm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so-
Oh, he told you. Oh, he told you.
Well,
We
listen,
got a Hall of Famer. You've been tagged in, sir.
Yeah.
listen. Being Jewish, those rolling R's are very difficult for me.
Aww.
So it's a little.
Are you not up to the game?
Am I not up to the game? I don't like the.
Do you
rolling
accept this challenge?
No,
Do
because
I
he's a
have to-
professional.
Do I have to call Wes and say he's not up to his game today?
Oh,
So
stop!
therefore, you must replace him.
So here you go. The Hall of Famer, Aaron Phillips.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome at this time, making his way to the camera and microphone, the guest of Thoughts Count Anywhere show, Ricardo Rodriguez. I know that sucked, but what can I tell you? It's early.
Wait, whatever happened to not working and then having a fresh mind and
Ricardo, you need to show him how to do it. Show him how it's done.
Damas y caballeros, les presento a Ricardo Rodriguez.
And that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, I can't even do it in Yiddish. He did it in Spanish. What do you want from me? Jeez Louise. Matt,
I'm
let's
a man of
get.
many talents.
Thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate you taking
we
the time.
greatly appreciate it.
Of course.
So I'm
It
sure
is
like
early.
most people know of your time in WWE. A lot of people should look at YouTube, all your AAA stuff, and realize what an amazing wrestler you are. But what was your favorite moments in WWE as far as your career in WWE went?
It's hard to pinpoint one specific time. Obviously my first WrestleMania is something that is going to be memorable for me forever. Every single WrestleMania, being a part of the Royal Rumble, the people that we got to work with, our first big feud was with Rey Mysterio, and that person and that man in himself is a legend. And then we followed up with Edge, Kane, Christian, John Cena, CM Punk, Sheamus, Dolph Ziggler. So the list of people that we got to work with was definitely a highlight. Getting to learn from each one of those individuals, getting to travel the world because of wrestling. A kid from El Barrio in LA that got out and went and did something. That to me is pretty cool. So there's many different highlights that it's hard to pinpoint one.
Yeah, understandable.
Well, I think that he hit the topic right there. A kid from the barrio to getting out and becoming something, and you putting your mind to it, and definitely getting that high spot, in the wrestling business, and working for WWE and being part of a WrestleMania and enjoying your career. So you can, if you put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want to. Jason, you had something?
Definitely.
Ricardo, speaking of Rey Mysterio, what are your thoughts on Dominic and his
I'm happy
talent?
for him. I've seen Dominic grow up over the last 10 years. So it's pretty cool to see that what he's doing, and he's in good hands with Seth Rollins. He's in really great hands with Seth Rollins. So I know he's been trained down in San Diego with B-Boy and the Level Up crew. So I know he's been trained down there. So he's in good hands on that aspect as well of who's training him. And like I said, he's in good hands with Rollins. So he'll be fine. I think you guys cut off audio. Oh, there it is. Okay.
You have to have a great dance partner, and it won't come off very good unless you have a good dance partner and in good hands, because you need to be trusted from both sides. But like you said, Seth's a hardcore veteran, and some of the mistakes that Dominic is going to make, because you always make it as a rookie and first year.
Of course,
and
we all do.
He's in great hands. I mean, who else better right now?
If you want to call in,
definitely, and I mean it's also in his blood, man. It's the lineage that Dominic has, man. Like not only just his immediate dad, but like who he's been around. Eddie, the Guerreros. He's been around wrestling his whole life, and you can tell that he actually enjoys it. So that also helps. He's not like the son of a wrestler who kind of did his own thing on the side and never really cared for the sport, and is just kind of doing it, to please dad. It doesn't come off that way. It seems like Dominic actually cares about it, and that he's been invested in it for the longest.
Is that the kind of hard thing to see, Ricardo, is someone who comes into the wrestling business, and if they enjoy it, they actually show it, but sometimes you can actually tell that they don't want to be there?
Oh, yeah. You can see it a lot. Or you'll see it too, like on an independent circuit level, where there's folks that just kind of want to do it for fun, and that's fine if they're true to themselves and they're honest and they say, I just want to do this for fun. And then you have those guys that want to make something out of it. You can tell who's in it for the long run, who's in it just to kind of, appease a dream that they had as a kid, and of just, hey, I want to wrestle and I want to do these cool moves, and that's cool. That's fine so long as you're honest with yourself and everybody else around you. And you just want to have, a good, maybe 2-3 years or whatever, just having fun. Versus, again, me personally, I prefer the guys who want to make something out of it, because they'll take it a lot more serious. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with just being straight up and saying, I just want to do this for fun for a little bit. And that's cool. But you can tell that Dominic is more interested in doing this long term, especially, and I know there's going to be a lot of pressure because of who his dad is and who his, his TV other dad was, of Eddie. So he's gonna have a lot of pressure put on him, but you can tell he's putting in the effort.
And of course, for many who don't remember, those of us here, I know we do, his son Dominic was prominent in a storyline when he was all of 6-7 years old between Eddie and Ray about who his daddy was and all that stuff. So being in a ring and being in the spotlight certainly was nothing new. If you have a question for Ricardo, give us a call at 702-329-6947. That's 702-329-6947. Make sure you press option 1 so you're directed right into the studio. We'll get you on the line, and you can chat with Ricardo. You can also send us a live tweet using hashtag ThoughtsCountAnywhere, and we'll share your question as well. Speaking, I want to stay in the Mysterio family for a second. We saw his sister come out as part of the family unit in that cage match. Kind of stopped for a moment at Murphy. Are we seeing do you think his sister now will start getting involved? Do you know if she even wants to be involved in the wrestling business?
I personally don't know. I don't know if she's been training. That I honestly don't know, so I can't tell yes or no. But I do know from firsthand experience that once you get a little bit of that spotlight, like it's very addicting.
Yeah,
and you may want to get more. Like that's why seriously, that's why this whole quarantine thing was so hard for a lot of folks, because there's no wrestling, there's nothing going on, and we're just like, oh man, I gotta be entertained somehow. I gotta go, I don't know, entertain somebody. I gotta do something.
Right.
They'll cut promos on random people on the street.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's funny too. It's funny you say that, because like I'm very open about this. I am a very big advocate of learning how to cut promos. You can be a great wrestler, but if you can't talk, you're only gonna go so far. So I'm constantly trying to practice promos. The other day I was in my car, and then something just popped in my head, so I started going at it in my car. I pull up to this the stoplight, and I'm full on promo mode, out loud, and I turn to my side and I see the guy in the car next to me just staring at me. But I was already deep in, so I just kept going while I was looking at him. Um, and then he drove off. But yeah, I was already there.
Quickly.
He probably went through the red light to get out of the way. Road rage incident in L.A. Ricardo Rodriguez doing a promo. What? Scott, you got something there?
Well, he mentioned something about, that light bulb or the look in the eye, and when you know the taste of wrestling. It goes to a story that I had with Tully Blanchard, and Tully and I go way back, and I was asking about Tessa, and he goes, it wasn't until the Hall of Fame, and I'm giving my speech, because none of the kids in his family were interested in wrestling whatsoever, and he goes, I looked down, and I could tell Tessa was in.
Awestruck?
Yeah, and she goes, he could tell the
Right.
crowd, the energy
Sure.
around. He goes, right then I knew within a couple weeks she was going to ask to start training and stuff like that, because none of them had interest. But yeah, definitely once it's in your blood, it's in your blood.
Ricardo, what was your aha moment when you knew that the wrestling industry was right for you to be involved in?
So I was not a big fan of wrestling like in the high school years. I was, predominantly soccer my whole life. And then I had a friend out here in high school who had this thing called the black box. For those of you guys who don't know what the black box is, it was this little thing that you would connect to your TV to where you can get pay-per-views or the fights for free.
I remember those.
You remember those?
So we used to go to his house because his house was the only one with the pool in our area. So we used to go to his house a lot, and he was a big fan of pro wrestling. So it was WrestleMania, I want to say 16 or 17, where it was a TLC match with the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudleys. And there was this part where Jeff Hardy was hanging from the titles, and Edge speared him.
Oh gosh,
And,
off from the ladder. Jeez.
And it really got to me. And I was like, I want to do this. I have to do this. I like this. And then we started backyard wrestling for a couple of years, and then eventually I got trained. And I had my first match, and it was like a drug, man. I was just addicted.
That's usually
And
what
14 years
happens.
later, here I am.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
A lot of people don't know that he hasn't, another character in AAA. Do you prefer to wrestle as Ricardo Rodriguez, or the Chamara, in AAA? It's in your lineage. Yeah.
The character that I had on the Independents prior to WWE was Chimera. It was a masked character. Of course, I prefer to wrestle. But the Ricardo gimmick is what kind of got me known and what got me out there. So it's, and I don't destroy my body with the Ricardo gimmick. So
That's true.
There's pros and cons to both. The downside of the Ricardo gimmick now, though, is that when I try and approach a lot of promoters, the most, and I know they don't mean it in a bad way, but a very insulting thing that I get as response is, I didn't know you wrestled. I thought you were just a ring announcer. And so even now, 14 years after, of being in this business, and even now 5 years since I left WWE, I still get that. I still get from, a response of, I didn't know you were a wrestler. Oh, you're a wrestler? I thought you were just a ring announcer. So it's, and again, I know they don't mean it in a insulting way, but it is freaking annoying.
Being stereotyped
when
like
you
that.
get that response.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like Henry Winkler being the Fonz, and that's all he was able to do for all those years. Nobody
Right.
hired him to do
You get
anything else.
typecasted.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, you get typecasted.
One of our greatest fans and followers, Chief, he I know you answered the question, but I think he came in the chat room late. Can you go over again who your trainers were?
My original trainer was this guy here in Los Angeles, straight lucha, Mexican lucha libre. His name was Latigo Blanco, White Whip. I learned from him, and he used to destroy us, like beat us. We would do our normal trainings, and then we would spend like the last half hour so just mad wrestling, just wrestling. But he was so good at it because he was a champion down in Mexico, and so he would just tie us up and roll us around, and he was constantly trying to tell us, get out, and we couldn't. But that's what we did. We just wrestled the last half hour of training, but it helped a lot. Eventually, I started training American style, and I went over with these guys named Los Luchas, Phoenix Star, and Zocre. This guy named Nemesis, Shamu Jr., and they helped me transition over to the American style. But it helped that they knew lucha, so it was like an American lucha style that I learned from them. So it was very easy to transition from lucha to American. From there, eventually, I ended up at Knox Pro right before I got signed, which is Rikishi's company. And there, I was training with Orlando Jordan, Rikishi, Gangrel, Black Pearl, and every now and then, like Alpha Pops from one of the heads of the Samoan family would come and train with us, and so I've been around that family for over a decade, which
not a
I
bad
am
lineage to
now
learn from.
teaching. Yeah. Oh yeah. So now, like, I'm myself and Rusev, who also came from that school. We are trainers down here at Knox Pro in Los Angeles. So actually, once I'm done with you guys here, that's where I'm heading. I'm heading to training.
Gotcha.
Are you going to dye your hair blonde?
No. Yeah, I'll leave that to him. I'll leave that to Miro.
Now that we
I'll
know
leave
there's
that to Miro. That's his thing.
now that we know that there's a connection, Matt, maybe between you and Ricardo, we can maybe hear from Rusev / Miro perhaps on a future show.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
It's a possibility. It's a
right.
possibility. I'll ask him when I see him.
that'll be great.
And he mentioned, obviously training. I know when he was here for the signing at the mall,
Yes.
he did some stuff over at Versus Pro Wrestling with
Yep.
Wes. And I went in there and watched him, and he's very knowledgeable. I mean, just teaching the kids how to get out of a corner as a heel or a face is completely different.
Sure.
And, just the knowledge. So, kids, students, even adults, definitely if Ricardo is in the area and he's given a class, you need to go listen. You need to be a sponge to people. I mean, Matt Stryker said it best. Be a sponge when the veterans come in and definitely understand they are teaching you. Don't go in there with thinking you know it all, because you
Right.
never do.
Absolutely.
No.
Matt, I think
even
has-
now, 14 years, even now for myself, 14 years later, I'm still learning something new. And not only that, wrestling is always evolving. It's currently evolving now. It's changing.
on.
Yes.
So if you think that you know it all, in about a year, something's going to change, and it'll be different than what you thought a year prior. So it's always constantly changing.
Absolutely. Matt has one final question for us, and then we'll let you go to work.
I usually ask everybody the same final question. Who's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Like your top 4 of all time?
Eddie, number 1. Ray, Ultimo Dragon, and my original number 1 hero when I was a kid, Atlantis.
Nice.
That's a good list.
That's a great
That's
list.
a good list.
Right on. Well, Ricardo, we thank you so much for taking time with us this morning and sharing your knowledge and your history. And I'll tell you what, guys, I know I'd love to have him on with his knowledge and what's going on. I think it'd be great we have him back when he's back in town.
Yeah, we'll have him at Power Play again, because he's a great guest, great with the fans. Had a blast having
Absolutely.
him cutting promos in front of the store with the fans and that.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't know if you still have it. If you still have it, you can air it. I don't care. It's not safe for work though.
We're on a podcast. The
We'll put a
FCC does
disclaimer
not.
We have your blooper reel from the little promo you
Yeah.
cut. Don't worry about it. We got it. But anyway, the best thing about internet, FCC doesn't touch us, so we're good in many fronts. Anyway, listen, we thank you so much for taking time with us from LA. Look forward to doing it again, and maybe we make a little hookup with you and Miro, and we get you guys both on the show at the same time.
For sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Stay
Appreciate
healthy.
the time. Yeah.
Ricardo Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen, what a great guy. I mean,
He was great at the show. Him
Yeah.
and Jeff Cobb, as
Yeah.
soon as they saw each other, it's like old school reunions
Right.
for these guys when they
Absolutely.
get back together. Which brings us to organizations that are evolving and things like that for
Right.
the boys to get together. And when we say the boys, that also means the ladies also.
Yes.
because that's just old school talk. But
Absolutely.
definitely get together and hearing their war stories.
Absolutely. All right, with that, we're going to take a little bit of a break. We have a couple of items we need to run through. Then when we come back, we're going to get into our WWE report and the rest of the show before we say goodbye at the top of the hour. You're watching Thoughts Count Anywhere with the 4 Thoughtsmen. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. your sports collectibles in Las Vegas, stop by Power Play Sports Collectibles in the Boulevard Mall. Power Play has a large selection of items from all your favorite teams, specializing in the Vegas Golden Knights, Las Vegas Raiders, and pro wrestling. Power Play Sports Collectibles has an online store if you prefer the online shopping experience, plus they ship worldwide. So if you're looking for that sports collectible for yourself or that special someone, check out Power Play Sports Collectibles online at www.powerplaysportscards.com or at the Boulevard Mall. Are you looking for someone to provide training to your sales staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
What's up, guys? It's Jeff Cobb here. Come check out Power Play Sports Collectibles. Buy some collectibles, buy some wrestling figures, and all that fun stuff.
Sports Card, Toys, and Collectibles Show to be held October 23rd through the 25th at the Boulevard Mall. Signing autographs on Saturday from 1 to 3 will be former WWE star and Lucha Underground commentator Matt Stryker. Show hours are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and there is free admission. So stop by the Sports Card, Toys, and Collectibles Show October 23rd through the 25th at the Boulevard Mall. Unicon, Fandoms United, in Las Vegas, March 5th through the 7th, 2021. All the fandoms collide. The toy world, the sports world, the comic world, the cosplay world, gaming, and pro wrestling. Unicon, Fandoms United, at the World Market Center Expo, March 5th through the 7th in Las Vegas. Hope to see you there.
Hey, welcome back. Thoughts Count Anywhere show. Jason, Matt, Aaron, as you notice that the end seat there is empty at the moment.
You made him leave.
Not me. Scott went to Parts Unknown, or what did I say during the break? The Little Boys Corral, something like that. I don't know.
I said the Bat Cave, but you got mad.
No, yeah, you don't besmirch the Bat Cave by referring to it as a toilet. So,
You just revealed where Parts Unknown is.
well, listen, if they couldn't figure that out
not
by
unknown
now,
anymore.
It's not unknown. Geez, thanks, Thomas. We appreciate it. 702-329-6947. We got our crawl running underneath to show some of the news and highlights, what's going on. Vegas, Go Live Vegas Studios. Listen, we want some advertising opportunities. This show, within about 1 week's time, through our boosting of the shows and making it available on social media, we end up between 20 to 30,000 views in just 1 week's time. So, Matt, if people are interested, how can people find out more about becoming part of our family?
You can go to our website, thoughtcountanywhere.com, and find the Contact Us tab, or you can just directly email us at info@thoughtcountanywhere.com.
Now, we also have do we have an advertisement tab on there? I don't recall. And what's on that tab? Is some of the information of packets and stuff? Or is
Yeah, there's packages, and then we have an advertisers tab of people that are already...
Yeah, right on. So join us. Become part of the fastest and most popular wrestling podcast online. Welcome back.
Yes, and I'm looking at, Thomas, your comments.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The voiceover guy is not available all the time, so I have to do some work.
Even though I can record at home, though.
Fine, be that
All
way.
right, I'll tell you what. Let's give Scott the opening WWE report. I'll give you that one. You start us off.
Well, Matt's future wife. I don't know how Daga feels about it.
I thought it was Alexa Bliss.
They're interchangeable.
Depends week to week.
Days that end in Y. Tessa Blanchard's image is used in the WWE game Battleground. Huh. Interesting.
I actually saw an updated report about that this morning. The photographer who took that picture went on some kind of rant and tagged WWE games and stuff about using his image without his permission.
Yeah,
so they're
I'm sure
putting a patch out today to take that image off the game.
Okay.
They got to save surprises for something.
For Royal Rumble.
Evolution, something.
Yeah, her and Killer Cross.
All right, next topic. Matt, take the next one if you would, sir.
Ricochet's denying reports that he's leaving WWE. There's been a lot of rumors going around that
If
some
one
big
comes
name
in,
was
one might have to leave.
It's like replacing on the 40-man roster. Yeah. Well, listen, he has not really done anything since, like many of the NXT stars who've been called up to the main roster. Many of these folks who have great resumes all around the world tend to not have a great resume when it comes to being on WWE main roster. And it's unfortunate. If it is true, if he's denying it and trying to save face, that's one thing. But he's a great talent just sitting on the bench doing nothing.
Great talent. And I think he's on the wrong show. He needs to be on the SmackDown show. On the Raw show is more of Vince's show, to be honest with you, because Fox controls a lot of the SmackDown show.
Right.
And Vince has always been the big muscle-bound guy.
Right.
And Ricochet's not that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
he's not Shawn Michaels. I hate to say that. I don't want to say that to Chris or Bebe, but
Adam Cole,
Yeah.
baby.
don't want to say that, to him I might be in a ring, but he just doesn't fit the Vince mold. So
Yep.
but if you put him on SmackDown, I think he flies all over the ring and becomes a great talent.
That's why, as much as I want to see Undisputed Era on the main roster, I get kind of scared every time I think about it, just because of guys like Ricochet and everybody else just get
Finn
buried
Balor.
as soon as they
Yeah, Finn
hit
Balor's
the main
another
roster.
example.
Yeah, because you can't fit into the Raw Underground.
No.
But Vince does say that Adam Cole is like the next Shawn Michaels, so he better be treated as such.
But what's that do for the rest of Undisputed Era?
I think that's going to put them all in like the mid card, and Adam Cole will probably be like main event level.
Yeah, but again, you have a faction that's just awesome together, and then you split that faction up, and it's just whoosh.
I think they'll be like the New Day. They'll be a group for a long time, but there's always one star in that group. He'll
Somebody
be like the
they'll
Kofi.
elevate.
So like DX.
Yeah, but I think they'll be more like the New Day. Like Kofi's like the
That
main
too.
guy of.
Can we do this or this or this to stay out of trouble? What can we do?
What are you doing? Yo,
We
yo,
know
yo,
a guy.
yo,
I don't think
MTV
he's going to
man?
get too mad at us.
Yo.
Don't ever do that.
I know,
again.
exactly. My daughter says the same thing, especially when
Can
I
we
do it in
clip
restaurants.
that?
Can we? It just.
I don't know, but it's going to be funny for videos later on.
TikTok.
TikTok.
Oh my
And
gosh.
on that note, to the next topic.
Chief says yes. Chief says it is the creative writers and Vince holding people back somewhat. Again, echoing what you just said.
I am taking this third one.
Go. Yeah. You're coming. There you go. It's yours.
IRS said in an interview that Bo Dallas is a better worker than Bray Wyatt. What the hell are you watching?
He said that Bo's a better worker, and you said Bray would agree with what he was saying.
I don't know about that.
You know what? When you think about it, they're two different characters.
Right.
And Bo is more of the wrestler. And so I can understand
Well,
Mike
saying it that
Rotundo
way,
saying
yeah.
that.
Saying it that way, yes.
And that's what it came out. That is a better worker. I mean, better worker.
And
Now-
unfortunately, we really haven't seen the best of Bo. I mean, Bo believes in all that. I think it was a little hokey. He
We
did
saw more of the gimmick route of Bo
B
Dallas.
team,
Right.
B team, go, go, go.
right the B team stuff, and then him.
Don't
and,
do that again.
Yeah, really.
Clip that. I'll blackmail myself. I don't care.
And we'll get you Keith Lee's first slingshot with the little skirt.
Ain't no shame in my game. I don't care. I needed an extra large. Bring it.
Extra large.
Don't you mean double?
2X.
Okay. I had a thought on that, but I'm just going to keep going. Next topic, please. Melina reports are saying that Melina has signed a new contract and could return as early as this next week on Raw, I believe was the brand.
SmackDown. Go to SmackDown.
Yep.
Why is it that somebody? I mean, because there's a lot of great female talent that's not being utilized as it is right now. Why does the WWE want to bring her back? I mean, look what happened. Look what's happening with Mickie James. She comes back. She ain't be doing much. I mean, why bring back a Melina to the
Tessa
forefront?
needs somebody to kick
Yeah,
kick around
but
for the
there's-
first few weeks.
But there's enough talent there that could do the same thing without signing. Now, because we're letting people go
Right.
who we want to see, i.e. like a Rusev, now Miro, and all of that in the past, and we're signing Melina. I don't understand that signing.
She could come back and team with Morrison again.
I'm sure Taya would love that.
Oh, you when that contract comes up and have that come it's sort of like the Ricochet thing. Have Taya come in and
But would Melina? I mean, she's signing a contract to possibly, maybe like you guys said, be teamed back up with Miz and Morrison. I mean, is that really going to do anything for the ratings of Raw to bring her back to be a valet or manager again? Look, Zelina Vega's
SmackDown?
or SmackDown. I mean, Zelina Vega's even breaking away from that and going at it on her own. So I don't understand the move with Melina, but I guess we'll see what happens in a week.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry,
Jason.
they're tying it up to one, like you said, Matt, to show the evolution again, the women's evolution part 2. So they got to bring in the talent to have the women there.
I think the talent of the women are going down.
Yeah.
I don't think they're getting proper training and developing as much through WWE as they have in the past. It's starting to be forgotten, and it doesn't need to be that way. So they're reaching out to the veterans to come in, maybe as a lure to get them to come in to assist with training down at the Performance Center. That could be a definite, issue. You bring a Mickie James in, you make her a trainer down at the Performance Center, very similar to HBK when Shawn Michaels is now at the Performance Center. The talent level of the men are surpassing the women again. I hate to say this, and this is not my opinion, it kind of is, but wrestling for Vince has mostly been about the men.
Right.
And if you can see the last few years, the women have headlined WrestleMania, headlined a lot of pay-per-views. But with Charlotte going down, Becky going down,
Rousey.
Rousey leaving. I mean, they need to revitalize that minor league system for the women. And until somebody gets there real quick, we need to, not have a hidden character in video games.
Do you think that has a lot to do with Steph?
No, I really don't. Those days of Steph being jealous are way past.
No. I mean, her bringing the girls in, trying to get like Mickey and Trish and Lita
as trainers. I think so. I mean, because the guys are great at training, but guys take better direction from guys. Women take better direction,
Right.
And you see it in a lot of the. There was a documentary with Becky and Sasha talking about the trainers they had only wanted to have the diva type matches, and it wasn't until those trainers left that the girls, ladies in the ring started wrestling more like the guys and doing those moves. I think they need to get back to that, and I think bringing a Mickie James in, who was part of that transition, bring them in.
What
and
about
Melina.
Lita? Because Lita, she kind of defied the extreme
Exactly,
stereotype.
and I think that would be a plus.
I think they need to bring like a couple names in of just like name recognition to
Right.
get women over that ain't the 4 horsewomen, because that's all that's been shoved down our throats for the last 5 years, and all these other like good talents has been on the wayside, sitting there. So like they need to bring some people in with like name recognition for like to
revitalize another
Naomis,
shot
to
in the
beat
arm.
the
Yeah.
Lacey
Yep, exactly.
Evans,
Lacey,
the Nikki Crosses.
You speak of one person right there, Matt. Lacey Evans. That woman is a former military person who is strong-willed just by herself. And her talents aren't really used like they should be.
Yeah, between like her and Naomi, those are like 2 people that like should
Yeah,
be
what happened
on-
to Naomi? I mean,
I think the character gimmick is what they need to work on, because Naomi's character gimmick and Lacey with the
Southern
Women's
Belle.
right.
I get away from
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. I agree with that. She
Yeah.
got away from it when after she wrestled Natalia in
Right.
Saudi Arabia.
She became a face
Correct.
and had the more of the military background
Right.
stuff. Now she's fallen back in the Southern Belle.
Right.
And I just
Stick with the one that
Yeah.
was with Natalia.
Yeah, absolutely. So great points, and we'll see what happens with the ladies division. Finn Balor said he would want AJ Styles and Adam Cole to join him to reform the Bullet Club.
That'd be awesome.
He needs somebody to save
That
him.
would be
He
epic
needs
as
somebody to
hell.
save him from carrying.
Yeah, right, exactly.
He needs all the help he can get. TikTok.
Clash of Champions is coming up in a couple of weeks, right? It's not
Yeah.
next Sunday, or is
No.
it next Sunday?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's
Check your
verify.
phone.
Yeah, let's verify. If anybody, Chief or somebody out there, I know you guys know, shoot us the date for when Clash of Champions is, please. Meantime, we're going to skip that. Scott, why don't you take the next bullet? You mentioned it on Power Play, so why don't you take care of that one here, too?
Oh, yes. Third anniversary this past week of, in my opinion, one of the greatest of all times, Bobby the Brain Heenan. People seem to forget the fact that he was a great wrestler,
Yep.
a great manager, and a great commentary character, whatever
Just
you
so
want to
much
call it.
knowledge, that
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. I still remember having lunches, and a good friend of mine who passed, also Nick Bockwinkel, him telling me how Bobby and him, ran through the territory. He said if Ray Stevens would miss a flight or something like that when Ray and Nick were tag team champions, Bobby would step in and draw so much heat because of obviously the manager of Stevens and Bockwinkel, and yet still wrestle his ass off. And people also forgot that, excuse me, COVID striking.
Take cover!
But realistically,
Geronimo!
people forgot in the old AWA days, and before in Chicago area, before AWA was there, Bobby used to come out as a wrestler in the opening match and wrestle one of the lightweights or something like that, draw the heat. Then he used to come out as a manager of the Blackjacks,
Right.
or Stevens and Bockwinkel, then come out later on as the manager of Nick Bockwinkel. He's almost in every match and only getting one payday, coming out for every match and yet getting involved in every match
Right.
and just getting his ass kicked every time, drawing the heat, everything. God rest his soul, one of the greatest men I ever met.
Look at what he did for WCW and WWE. I mean, you forget just how much of an impact he had for Andre the Giant and Harlem Heat and just all those guys in general. He made it so entertaining with the wars.
And he was
between
there when Hogan turned.
Yep.
Turned,
And
yeah.
that was big, too.
Yep.
And people, no disrespect to you guys in your age, you remember the the later years,
Yep.
more of the comic
comic relief.
Yeah. Aaron and I, if you look at it, you can hardly find any good footage because, it's all choppy.
Right.
Go on YouTube and look at some of the early matches of Stevens and Bockwinkel and Heenan being the Blackjacks manager. God, he was great. And, 3 years, he said the last year he came to CAC, he sat at my table across from me and still cracking jokes even though he couldn't talk.
Right.
And God rest his soul.
Absolutely. All right, I want to skip the matches. It has been confirmed that Clash of Champions is a week from tomorrow, the 27th, from the Amway Center. Let's go over the matches next week because some of these can change. We can introduce these, but I don't want to pick winners or anything until next Saturday. So let's skip that for right now. Gerald Briscoe celebrating a birthday by being fired from the WWE.
Thanks, Vince. Thank you.
Here's your card.
Exactly.
And your pink slip.
We mentioned IRS earlier. Erwin R. Scheister, Mike Rotundo. He too, this past week, it was made official.
How is that
too.
going to affect? Briscoe West isn't there, so
Right.
but you have Bo and you have Bray.
Yeah.
How does that affect their personality and working in the background?
Well, according to the article, when IRS mentioned that he got the call, he had no idea how far Bray Wyatt was taking the Fiend character until it started appearing, the Firefly Funhouse. He had no knowledge of any of that. He saw that develop like the fans did.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to really affect them. I think it could have helped Bo better to get him more involved in better
Right.
storylines and situations. But listen, I don't think anything's going to go on with Bray. If he's pissed, it'll only add to the Fiend.
and
What's
I
even
just hate the IRS gimmick. To
I
me,
know.
he's Mike Rotundo.
Yeah.
What's even crazier, I met Bray Wyatt last year,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was like, dude, I love the Fiend gimmick and everything else you're doing, he goes, you've only seen the tip of the iceberg of
Right.
what I have planned. And he said he was trying to get a bunch of other stuff approved, so...
To touch on that a little bit,
Yeah.
Matt, like you were saying, Matt and I both sat there and talked with Bray, and Bray literally asked both of us about his characters from Husky Harris to now. And he mentioned it. He's like, Husky Harris wasn't me. He goes, when they gave me the chance to be Bray Wyatt, he goes, I want to just run with it and take it to a whole nother darker level. And when we talked about it, Bray's like, you love my character now. Just wait, I'm not done. And when he said that, you could just see it in his eyes. We were in for a shock.
And thus far, I don't think he's disappointed anybody.
Now he's got Alexa Bliss in a trance.
That's right.
You just hope you see those eyes before the kiss.
I'm buying
right?
a mask just in case. I'm just going to buy a Bray Wyatt mask, and hopefully it'll transfer somehow.
Real quickly, Kurt Angle said in an interview that Vince McMahon once told him that he will live to 105. The guy can barely walk as it is. How is he going to live to 105?
He's stubborn enough. I could see it.
He's healthy, certainly. His nutrition and
Strong
stuff.
as heck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steroids are a preserver.
There's embalming fluid in him, aren't there?
Wow.
Weekend at Bernie's.
All right, AEW Impact Report. Take it away, Matt. Do that one.
I'm like,
Well,
okay.
you could literally say, "Hey, Jason," not just throw me a finger there, buddy.
Hey, you're lucky it's only the pointing finger.
You mean that one?
I'm not even looking.
Okay.
Miro said that even though he signed with AEW, he hinted that he's going to possibly be working with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I think a lot of people might want to see, like him versus Okada or him versus Jeff Cobb. There's a lot of interesting matches that could happen out
Jeff
of that.
Cobb. I'd like to see that. That would be
an interesting match.
That'd be a great
That'd
match.
be a good match, yeah.
Maybe if we get Miro on a future show here, we can really find out what his intentions are.
We can maybe have Jeff come in because he's still in Vegas.
Oh,
Not traveling.
Yeah, they could. Oh,
They
could
could
do
have promo
shoots.
on each
I was
other.
gonna say they could do their stuff right here and there. That would be cool. All right, is it time?
Time for what?
Pop culture? Yeah,
No.
it's time for pop culture.
Is it really?
Oh, yes.
Holy crap, Batman.
Don't take 2 minutes off of that clock.
Exactly.
Holy crap, Batman.
Well, let's talk a little
Yes.
AEW, and I forgot to mention this to Matt last night. I had a conversation with somebody, and everybody's very critical of the AEW women's division. And I found out something very interesting in some conversation.
This is when we need that teletype breaking news sound to come in.
And everybody is blaming Brandy because Brandy is supposed to be, she's just the figurehead.
Kenny Omega.
Right.
It's Kenny Omega and his ties to New Japan. Kenny, get some help, dude.
I think when Jim Cornette says you must have a Japanese schoolgirl fetish.
Wow.
Because that seems a little more accurate every
I wasn't
week.
going to go there, but it's
Too late.
I'll go there directly.
Shane McMahon Jr.
The cat is out of the bag.
But, I mean, everybody's criticizing Brandy for it. It's not Brandy. It's actually Kenny Omega. Yeah.
All right,
Alrighty.
pop culture. Let's do it. Nuggets come back from 3-1 deficits in the NBA playoffs, knocking off the highly touted Clippers to get into the finals. Now they take on the Lakers, and in Game 1, dare we
their
say,
ass kicked.
the Nuggets were a little overmatched.
Their luck is over with.
That's right.
LeBron's about to get his title.
Now, LeBron is playing with a little chip on his shoulder. Him not happy that he was not the MVP again. He was number 2 behind, I can never say his name, Gianna Antetokounmpo. Is that the guy from Milwaukee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
The
guy.
guy from Milwaukee.
How many?
Right, exactly. So, but LeBron's a little unhappy. He didn't even get any first place votes. He got everything for second place. He's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder from what I saw
LeBron's
yesterday.
been bitching for about the last 2 months.
Remember in one game he was crying because it was so hot that he got a cramp and couldn't finish.
He's had cramps though in the past. I mean, if you remember in some of the finals, he's dealt
There's
with.
so many lines I could do
I
right
was,
now.
so I was going to fix it.
So many lines.
I was going to clarify by saying leg cramps.
Bitching more at the referees about every call. Dude, you're not Michael Jordan. I don't care.
You are not